In the quiet, often predictable landscape of mid-1960s daytime television, where domestic dramas and hospital intrigues reigned supreme, a single, audacious whisper began to echo through the airwaves, a whisper of ancient secrets, ancestral curses, and creatures born of myth. This was the nascent heartbeat of Dark Shadows, which premiered in 1966. It began as a Gothic romance, a tale of a young governess arriving at a remote, haunted estate, Collinwood, nestled on the windswept coast of Maine. Yet, through a series of serendipitous accidents and bold creative leaps, this unassuming soap opera would soon shatter the boundaries of its genre, transforming into something utterly unprecedented, a daily, live-on-tape Gothic horror serial, a mesmerizing tapestry woven with vampires, ghosts, witches, parallel universes, and the relentless, tragic dance of fate and destiny. Its appeal wasn't merely in its supernatural thrills, but in its audacious defiance of convention, its profound psychological undertones, and the raw, unpolished charm that stemmed from its ambitious daily production. The initial premise of Dark Shadows promised genteel mystery, a brooding atmosphere, and the kind of unrequited love and family secrets common to Gothic novels. However, the show's fortunes were flagging. Facing cancellation, a desperate gambit was made: introduce a vampire, and from the oppressive silence of a sealed coffin, unearthed from centuries of forgotten slumber, a shadowed figure emerged that would not only rescue the show, but irrevocably rewrite the rules of television: Barnabas Collins. Portrayed with an almost Shakespearean gravity and an aristocratic torment by Jonathan Frid, Barnabas wasn't merely a creature of the night. He was a living anachronism, a tragic figure burdened by the centuries of guilt, heartbreak, and a monstrous hunger he despised. His desperation to reclaim his lost love, Gisette, and find a cure for his vampirism grounded him in a profound, unsettling humanity, making him an anti-hero audiences could simultaneously fear and pity, rather than just a clear-cut villain. Jonathan Frid's performance as Barnabas was nothing short of iconic, a masterclass in conveying immense inner turmoil through subtle gestures, haunted eyes, and a voice that dripped with the melancholy of ages. He managed to imbue Barnabas with both menace and a profound pathos, a blend that captivated viewers and ignited an unprecedented Barnabas mania. It was a phenomenon akin to rock star adoration, completely unforeseen for a daytime character, let alone a vampire. Frid's theatrical background allowed him to bring a dramatic weight to the role that transcended the typical soap opera performance. His delivery was precise, his movements deliberate, and his portrayal of a creature caught between his cursed nature and his lingering humanity resonated deeply. He didn't just play a vampire. He presented a tortured soul, eternally wrestling with his monstrous impulses and his yearning for redemption, turning Barnabas into a complex, sympathetic figure whose presence single-handedly ensured the show's survival and its subsequent explosion into a genre-bending sensation. The success of Barnabas unleashed an unprecedented torrent of supernatural elements into the daily serial. Ghosts, first subtle and then increasingly prominent, became integral to the Collinwood atmosphere. Werewolves, witches, warlocks, and even mythical beings like the Leviathans joined the sprawling cast of characters. Dark Shadows became a bold, audacious experiment in genre blending, pushing the boundaries of what was acceptable and even possible on daytime television. It was no longer just a Gothic romance. It was a daily horror anthology, a supernatural melodrama that dared to explore themes of good versus evil, life versus undeath, and the insidious nature of ancestral curses that echoed through generations of the Collins family. This fearless integration of the fantastic into a realistic within its own context melodrama created a unique viewing experience, a daily dose of suspense and supernatural intrigue that captivated audiences like nothing else on air. But the true narrative audacity of Dark Shadows wasn't content with mere spectral visitations or lycanthropic transformations. As if pulled by an unseen, ancestral thread, the story plunged headlong into the vertiginous currents of time itself. The show became a pioneer of time travel in serialized storytelling, a revolutionary concept that allowed characters, like phantoms adrift, to be transported to past centuries. This wasn't a whimsical device. It was essential to the plot, revealing the origins of the Collins family's curses and Barnabas's vampirism, often through poignant and tragic love stories. The 1795 storyline, which saw Barnabas fall in love with the ill-fated Gisette and eventually succumb to the curse of Angelique, was a sprawling, multi-month arc that captivated audiences and created a deeply resonant mythology for the series. Later, the show explored other historical periods, like 1897 and 1840, revealing more layers of the Collins family's intertwined destinies and the recurring patterns of love and loss. Beyond linear time travel, Dark Shadows introduced an even more mind-bending concept: parallel time PT. This innovative narrative device allowed the series to explore alternate realities, where the same actors played familiar characters, but with different personalities, different relationships, and different fates. It was a revolutionary way to showcase the versatility of its ensemble cast and to explore profound themes of identity, fate, and the subtle variations of circumstance that could irrevocably alter a life. Characters who were villains in one timeline might be heroes in another. Lovers might be strangers. This audacious use of parallel universes was virtually unheard of in television at the time, particularly on a daily serial, and it added an incredible layer of complexity and intellectual intrigue to the show's already rich tapestry. It forced viewers to constantly reevaluate characters and situations, demonstrating the show's surprising philosophical depth beneath its pulpy exterior. This remarkable narrative flexibility, coupled with the show's daily production schedule, led to a unique aesthetic that has become part of its enduring charm: the low-budget, live-on-tape allure. Dark Shadows was produced with minimal retakes, meaning visible boom mix dipping into frame like errant spirits, props visibly wobbling, and the occasional flubbed line only added to the raw, immediate intimacy of a live theatrical performance. These mistakes weren't flaws, but part of the show's authentic, almost experimental feel. They fostered a sense of immediacy and unpredictability, a happening that unfolded daily before millions, making viewers feel less like passive observers and more like direct witnesses to the unfolding drama. This raw energy, combined with rudimentary but effective special effects, glowing eyes, ghostly apparitions, quick cuts to heightened terror, gave the show a distinct, dreamlike quality that compensated for any lack of polish. It was a testament to the creativity born from limitation, where imagination often triumphed over budget. If you're captivated by shows that defied expectations, embraced audacious storytelling, and found brilliance in unexpected places, then you're truly among those who appreciate the hidden gems of television history. We love diving into the unique charm of shows like Dark Shadows that built entire worlds on a shoestring budget and sheer creative will. Don't let these fascinating stories remain in the shadows. Hit that subscribe button and join our quest to explore the legendary series that dared to be different. The versatility of the ensemble cast was another cornerstone of Dark Shadows' success. Because of the daily serial format and the frequent use of time travel and parallel universes, the core actors were often tasked with playing multiple roles, sometimes several different characters within the same episode. Actors like Grayson Hall, Dr. Julia Hoffman, Countess Natalie Duprez, Joan Bennett, Elizabeth Collins Stoddard, Naomi Collins, Alexandra Maltka, Victoria Winters, Gisette Duprez, Catherine Lee Scott, Maggie Evans, Gisette Duprez, Kitty Soames, and Lara Parker. Angelique Bouchard, Catherine Herridge delivered astounding performances, often shifting seamlessly between vastly different personalities, accents, and historical periods. This multi-rolling wasn't just a production necessity. It cleverly reinforced the show's themes of reincarnation, recurring destinies, and the cyclical nature of good and evil within the Collins family lineage. It showcased the remarkable talent of the performers and further blurred the lines of identity, adding layers of intrigue to the already complex narrative. Beyond the ghouls and goblins, Dark Shadows delved into profound psychological depth and Gothic themes. It explored the torturous burdens of the past, the pervasive influence of ancestral sins, and the eternal struggle between fate and free will. Characters were constantly haunted by their heritage, by past mistakes, and by forbidden loves that transcended time and death. The show often explored themes of madness, obsession, identity crisis, and the corrupting influence of power. It tapped into universal fears and desires, the fear of being alone, the longing for eternal love, the terror of succumbing to one's darker impulses. The Gothic setting of Collinwood, with its secret passages, hidden rooms, and sense of decaying grandeur, served as a potent metaphor for the Collins family's crumbling sanity and their inescapable history. The human drama, full of betrayals, thwarted desires, and tragic sacrifices, was always at the forefront, even when a vampire or a witch was involved. Dark Shadows was more than just a popular television show. It became a genuine cultural phenomenon and holds a unique, almost sacred, place in television history. It was the first and perhaps only successful Gothic horror soap opera. Its fervent fan base, many of whom were teenagers who raced home from school to catch the latest episode, formed a dedicated cult following that persists to this day. It proved that dark fantasy and horror could thrive on daytime television, opening doors for later supernatural series across all time slots. Its influence can be seen in subsequent Gothic dramas, supernatural series, and even in the evolving complexity of soap opera narratives. Barnabas Collins himself remains one of the most recognizable and beloved figures in horror fiction, a tortured anti-hero who permanently altered the vampire archetype. The show's enduring appeal lies in its courageous storytelling, its iconic characters, its atmospheric charm, and the sheer audacity with which it explored the supernatural. It was a show that embraced its oddities, its imperfections, and its grand ambitions, creating something truly timeless and unforgettable. As we emerge from the shadowed corridors of Collinwood and reflect on its legacy, it becomes clear that Dark Shadows was an accidental triumph, a low-budget, daily serial that, through sheer creative will and an unexpected vampire, stumbled into becoming a groundbreaking, genre-defying masterpiece. It proved that television could be both wildly entertaining and surprisingly profound, creating a world where every secret was a potential horror, every love story a potential tragedy, and every character a puppet of a fate yet to be revealed. If you've been spellbound by this journey into the mysteries of Dark Shadows and its unique place in television history, remember that the archives of classic TV hold countless other secrets waiting to be unveiled. We love uncovering the hidden depths and revolutionary aspects of these iconic series. Don't let the darkness claim you. Make sure you've subscribed to join our ongoing quest for forgotten gems and celebrated classics. Now, descend into the comments section. What are your deepest, darkest memories of Dark Shadows? Who was your favorite character or your favorite version of a character across time and parallel universes? What do you believe is the most significant contribution the show made to television or Gothic fiction? Share your thoughts, ghostly encounters, and eternal opinions below. Let's discuss why these shadows continue to haunt our imaginations.